Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. This is an especially exciting video for me because this is the first trip back out onto the trails with the Escape having four-wheel drive. So since the last video where we hit the trails over the winter, I've done a lot of work on the Escape with replacing the transmission, installing a transfer case, installing a rear differential, even a trailer hitch as a recovery point in the rear, and larger tires. And all those things really contribute to making the Escape a better vehicle on the trail. So now fast forward, last time we went out it was December, so it was cold, it was starting to snow just a little bit, maybe about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And now we're in March and it's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit and it's wet and just, you know, very similar circumstances. So we revisited some of the same trails that we went to back in December with front-wheel drive and tried to find some of the same obstacles to see how did the Escape do in front-wheel drive. We know that it did rather poorly, it got stuck a few times, but now with all-wheel drive, how much better is it going to be? So let's dive into the video and see. Alright everybody, well we are back out at the trails again today. So we've got the Escape here, Spirit the Escape with four-wheel drive and bigger tires. I've got a trailer hitch now, ready to go back out on the same trails we were on back in December when it was only front-wheel drive where we got stuck a few times. So we're going back on the same trails today. The weather is about the same, where it's been rainy the past couple of days and it's only about 40 degrees outside, so it should be a pretty good comparison from front-wheel drive to you know, four-wheel drive now with some bigger tires. So let's get on the trail and see how this does. First trouble spot with the Escape having only front-wheel drive a few months ago was really kind of embarrassing. It was essentially just a sandy area that was sloped, so I was facing downhill and just needed to get a little bit backwards and turn so we could get back onto the trail going uphill. But with just being essentially one-wheel drive, on a front-wheel drive car, if you get one tire starting to spin, the other tire doesn't do much of anything. So I was just, you know, spinning one tire. Street tires, they were maybe 50% or more worn out, and it just didn't want to back up in that sandy area. So we didn't go back to that exact same spot, but we did go to another precarious location where the Escape really got to show off its maneuverability off-road, as well as the better traction now with larger, more aggressive tires and four-wheel drive at the flip of a switch. So let's check that out. Yeah, I think the rear one might have fallen off now.
The trail's eventually always going to get widened to my caliper. How bad is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even see.
So one thing that you'll see over and over was that we keep on losing antennas during this trip through the woods. I have two antennas on top of my car and they just constantly fall over. So I bet we stopped probably 10 times for somebody to jump out and just stick the antenna back on the roof again where it belongs.
I'd like to know your plan.
Whose plan?
I may need the trail saw.
Oh, you got a lot of room over here.
Do we?
Yeah, you got like a foot over here.
Is the mirror gonna?
No, I folded it in.
No.
That tree will fold that one in.
Oof.
Crunch. And we're in.
Where are we going from here?
All right, I think if you crank it hard right, you have like 8 feet. 4 feet. 3 feet. All right, can you just have a little guy right there. You can run that guy over. You got plenty of room to crank it right and back up. Four feet, 3 feet.
So after this, we went searching for some water holes. And the Escape easily drove through the first water holes, so we started to search for the water holes we previously got stuck.
Oh man.
Oh, not that deep.
Do it, Eric, do it, Eric, do it, Eric, do it, Eric. Don't go yet.
Don't go yet. Are you going right through the middle?
Yeah.
All right.
Say when.
Okay, it's going.
Oh, beautiful.
Well done.
So the first water hole that we got stuck in with front wheel drive really was kind of embarrassing because the water hole wasn't even really that deep. But it was a combination of having some sloppy, slippery mud, the street tires that really didn't have much traction on them, and only one tire spinning. The Escape kind of got into a rut, and it couldn't pull itself back up out of that because of the mud and you know, just not having enough traction. So now, having larger, more aggressive tires and four-wheel drive at the flip of a switch, I was ready to try again.
Do you want to run ahead, Tony, through the woods?
And get you coming through.
Yeah.
Hold on, we're deploying photography. Please.
So next up, we get back to the big hole where the Escape really got stuck on the last trip, and it was stuck badly. This is where there was so much water, the water was deep, where it actually came up through the floorboards and soaked the carpet inside. And this is also about the time when I realized that I didn't have any recovery points on the front of the Escape or on the back. So I had to go into the water, wade into it, essentially take off my boots and my socks and pull my pants up and wade into the water so I could wrap a tow strap around one of the control arms as a recovery point to get pulled out of there. So now, going back to the same hole, but having bigger tires, more aggressive tires, and four-wheel drive, you know, we were all really excited to see how the Escape would do going through that same hole, similar conditions. Let's check that out.
Yeah, that's where I got stuck, and it was about the same temperature outside. And I had to go into the water and find a place to hook a strap to because I had 0 recovery points.
Oh boy. You got a lock up there.
Oh. Let's maybe look at that one.
Oh, the log had a nub that rolled up.
Oh! Yeah, let's review the footage on that. Make sure our gas is still inside.
We felt that.
Yeah, looks like all fluids are still inside.
Good?
Good to go. Well, that's a lot of steam.
You don't got any angry lights on the dash yet.
That's a concerning positive.
Yeah, and we haven't been through water in a little while.
Our bottle is full.
Okay.
So now, the last obstacle that we got stuck on before, it wasn't really so much stuck as just we got into a bad position. I maybe could have backed up and tried again with front wheel drive, but I was so close to the edge of the trail that if I backed up, I was afraid I was going to start rubbing my, the side of the car, rubbing the glass, and maybe damage something. So we decided just to pull it up at that point. But really, we just got stuck on some ruts in the road. The road was kind of washed out by the rain and some erosion. So, it's just kind of ruddy and an incline. It wasn't really much of an obstacle, but having a pretty incapable escape with street tires and front-wheel drive, it was just too much for a car like that. So again, now back with larger off-road tires and four-wheel drive at the flip of a switch. Much different story here.
Yeah.
So at this point, we can see that the investment in adding four-wheel drive to the Escape and the larger tires is really paying off. And everything that it got stuck in before, it's just driving through like it's no problem at all. So we start to venture out and try to find new trails with deeper water holes and tougher obstacles, and just really exploring. And at the end of the day, the Escape passed through all of it. Probably the most exciting part for me was when we got kind of to the end of how far we wanted to go that day and started heading back towards home. We come across another group of people similar to us who are in vehicles that a couple of them had some lifted Jeep Cherokees. One guy had a Blazer that looked like it was straight off the street, probably even less capable than the Escape, maybe even when it was front-wheel drive. But we see these guys sitting at one of the big mud holes that we previously ran through earlier in the day, so we knew it wasn't terribly deep and that we could get through it. And as we approach them and they're sitting there kind of scoping out the hill, it's like, you know what, let's just go through it. We power through the Escape, and water comes up over the hood, and the guy that's sitting in the Blazer gives us a yeah. Like, he was excited to see us go through, and maybe that gave him confidence to try as well, although I'm not sure that he would make it through it in the Blazer that he had. But all in all, very successful day, great trip out for the Escape, and this was really kind of a test run to see how does the Escape do now relative to how it did before, and also trying to find some more challenging things. And I think that now we're ready to go and try some more difficult off-road trails. So stay tuned, and maybe in a few more weeks here we'll get out and try something a little bit more difficult. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.